So welcome to another Tokyo Revengers video guys. And yeah, finally chapter 269 is out. Honestly, this chapter was very short. At the same time it was heartbreaking. It's so sad to see Mikey, who was called invincible since his childhood, like this. We learn for the first time what happened in the first timeline. But all this is just a beginning. Many more mysteries will be revealed soon. So I think the next few chapters will focus entirely on Shinichiro's backstory. I don't know how many chapters we will get about him. But the story is sure to be slow pacing for the next few chapters. When Ken Wakui-sensei always tells a character's backstory, I think we know he's going to take the time he needs. Because Mikey's story is a perfect example of that. Now this is about his brother Shinichiro. Before we talk about that, as usual guys, I would kindly appreciate it if you can drop a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel. Let's go into the video now. So the ending of the previous chapter was pretty crazy. Biggest twist in Tokyo Revengers story so far. Mikey reveals to us that his brother is a time leaper. After hearing this, Takemichi realizes something. And he says, "Mikey, your brother is the one who..." He didn't say the whole sentence. This is why we don't know what it means. Also, there are many theories about this. I think we will only find out the meaning of this in Shinichiro's backstory. The first page says, Shinichiro is a time leaper. His hidden past will reveal soon. So this means that at least the next 3 or 4 chapters will focus on him. Because Ken Wakui-sensei shared this photo on his Twitter account. I think we'll see this draft page in the original chapter next month. I mean, this picture is likely to appear in the original chapter 272. So this is the original timeline. Everything has been pretty normal in this timeline. Nothing like time travel happened in it. But now, it's called first timeline. Because Shinichiro keeps changing timelines to save his brother. Takemichi changed the timeline several times to save Hina. And I think Takemichi's timeline is not real. It was a consequence of Shinichiro's time leap. The chapter begins with the celebration of the Black Dragon Gang's final gathering. Unlike the Toman Gang, we don't know why Shinichiro created the Black Dragon Gang. Although the Black Dragon Gang is heavily involved in the story. We don't know much about them. Before Shinichiro created this gang. I wonder how he stopped the past conflict between Wakasa and Benkei. I don't think it will be revealed in the original series for sure. It is highly likely that we will get a spin-off series about the Black Dragon Gang. When we know nothing about them, we are already in their final meeting. It's so hilarious. But anyway. Shinichiro also takes his brother Mikey there. Basically nobody takes kids to gang meetings. When Takomi asks the same question, he says, "I'm like his father figure at this point." It's true. Because we know who Mikey's dad is, after all he looks like Takemichi. Honestly, I think there might be a reason behind this. We can talk about that in another video. When Shinichiro said this, "I'm like his father figure at this point." This picture Ken Wakui-sensei shared on his birthday comes to my mind. This is the first time we see Mikey as a baby. We can see how happy Shinichiro is in this picture. Now back to the chapter. When Mikey said this, "I want a fast bike too." I think this will remind everyone of the second timeline. Since Shinichiro is a time leaper, he is well aware of the future and the past. Small details like these make the chapter a little more interesting. Now finally the Black Dragon Gang has been disbanded. This scene reminds me of Mikey disbanding the Toman Gang. When Shinichiro realizes that no one is better than them, he decides to disband the gang. Mikey felt the same way after defeating the Tenjiku Gang. Not only does Takemichi have Shinichiro's personality, Mikey also acts like Shinichiro at times. After all, they are brothers. To be honest, even though it's not that emotional, I really like this moment. Mikey always loves his brother. Now Mikey sees how great his brother is. We also see Takomi and Wakasa, Benkei all crying. When I see scenes like this, I want to know more about them. So this moment would have been great as the Toman Gang. However, Shinichiro has actually been a great brother to both Mikey and Emma. He has done much for them in the figure of a father. Shinichiro even treated Izana like his own brother. But eventually things did not go well. That's why I think like this. I don't know if Mikey's real dad would do that much for them. Shinichiro really deserves it all. Finally, the important part of the chapter. When he goes home, he sees this airplane toy model. It's pretty funny when you think about it. If Shinichiro hadn't bought this toy, everything would have been pretty normal. We have seen every villain in every arc of the story. But now this toy looks like the real villain. So we can now see the difference here. Shinichiro didn't help Mikey make the toy in the original timeline. But in another timeline, Shinichiro himself made the toy and gave it to Mikey. However, since it was a gift to Mikey from his brother, it was precious to him. And while Mikey was playing with the toy, Shinichiro was working at a bike shop. He wasn't with Mikey at the time. This is where we find out what happened to Mikey in the real timeline. The series has been going on for almost 5 years, but we have never thought about this timeline. A lot of people said this after the last chapter was released. Mikey may have died in the first timeline. That's why Shinichiro wanted to save him. Yeah, while Mikey is playing with the toy. He fell down the stairs and hit his head badly. We can see Senju, Sanzu and Baji here. When Sanzu explains how this happened to Mikey. The same thing happened in Senju's backstory. This is really a huge thing. Senju changed Mikey's fate by breaking the toy. It all happened because Mikey was playing with that toy. Senju didn't even touch the plane in the original timeline. As expected, I think everyone will remember what Sanzu said to Senju in chapter 250. Senju is likely to be the trigger for Shinichiro. But I'm still not sure about that. Although Mikey didn't die in the first timeline, he lost all of his emotions. His brain had completely lost its function. And Shinichiro was the person who broke the toy in the original timeline. Senju did the same thing, but she didn't do it on purpose. It's so sad to see Mikey like this now. At this age he did not meet any Toman gang members. He is also not an invincible Mikey in this timeline. He is just an ordinary child who has lost his emotions. I never thought we'd see Mikey like this. His backstory is very sad. Mikey has been like this for almost 4 years. Surely Shinichiro must have been the person who took care of him during those years. It must have been very difficult for him to see his brother in such a state. At this point he will do anything to protect Mikey somehow. Yeah, he did that too, it's still a mystery. I'm very interested to know it. But anyway. So if you guys like this video, hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe. And good luck to all.